Hola! So what I want to do for you guys today is I want to just go over the IR verbs. That is a major component of this chapter. And if you have found it pretty simple, then you're probably remembering that it's just like the AR verb conjugations. So if you remember from chapter 2, we went over our AR verbs. So I'm going to take a common AR verb. So for example, we have hablar. Okay, so remember, every verb in Spanish is either going to be an AR, an ER, or an IR verb. Okay, so we're going to go over our AR verbs right now, okay? Remember, every verb before it is conjugated is called the infinitive, okay? This is your unconjugated form of the verb, the infinitive. But then when you conjugate that verb and use it in a sentence with our personal pronouns or your subject, so yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, and then ellos, ustedes, okay? So you're going to look at your infinitive and realize that it has two parts. You have the stem, which stays the same. It doesn't change. And then you have the ending, okay? This AR, ER, or IR ending is what always changes, okay? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to just kind of review what we did with the AR verbs. Yo hablo, tú hablas, él, ella, usted habla, nosotros hablamos, ellos, ustedes hablan. ¿Ok? Como yo hablo español, ustedes hablan un poquito. ¿Ok? So those are our AR verb endings, all right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a blue marker and we're going to go over the verb. Let's see here. We're going to go over another ER verb and let's go over comer, okay? So comer, to eat, is a very common ER verb, okay? So again, this is your infinitive form. This is your stem. This is your ending, okay? So when you want to conjugate that verb and use it in a sentence, what you're going to do is you're going to take off that ER and then you're left with your stem. Yo como. Notice the ending is the same, okay? Tú comes, okay? Now it's not exactly the same, but it's an ER verb, so instead of an AS, it's an ES. Yo como, tú comes, él, ella, usted come, nosotros comemos, if I could spell it correctly, comemos, y ellos, ustedes comen, okay? So notice, it's not exactly the same, but it follows that exact same pattern. Okay? Now, if we take any other ER verb, just like we studied in chapter 2, all of your AR verbs are conjugated the same. All of your ER verbs are conjugated in the exact same manner. So you have comer, yo como, comes, come, comemos, comen. Okay? So that's to eat. If I want to say I eat, yo como. Okay? Beber is to drink, okay? Yo bebo. Tú bebes. Él, ella, usted bebe. Nosotros bebemos. And ustedes, ustedes o ellos beben. Okay? Notice these endings are exactly the same. All right? Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to go over the IR verbs. Okay? The IR verbs, all right, are exactly the same, only there's one form that's got a slight difference. So, vivir, okay, to live. So, yo vivo in North Little Rock, okay? Tú vives en Arkansas. Nosotros, or ella vive in Oklahoma, okay? Nosotros vivimos en Arkansas. Ellos viven in Arkansas, okay? So notice all of these forms here are the same. The only difference in the IR verbs, because vivir is an IR verb, okay? Instead of hemos, it's hemos. And that's it, okay? So all of your AR verbs are just exactly the same, okay? So if you have asistir, to attend, excuse me, oh, goodness. Yo asisto, tú asistes a Pulaski Tech, okay? Ella asiste a Pulaski Tech. Nosotros asistimos a Pulaski Tech. Remember, it has that I there. And then ellos, ustedes asisten a Pulaski Tech. Okay? So, I know that's a lot of verb conjugations for you, but I just wanted to go over that just in case some of you were having some problems. And then another thing I want to review with you guys is that I want you to be very, very careful and remember that you cannot have two conjugated verbs in the same simple sentence, okay? So, for example, I could say, yo como y bebo con mi familia, okay? So I eat and I drink. So I just said you can't have two conjugated verbs in the same sentence. But in this sentence, I can here because what I have are two complete sentences, basically two independent clauses. So I eat and I drink, okay? So this and right here, okay, or a conjunction, is what we use in order to make compound sentences, if you guys remember that. Okay, so I could say yo como con mi familia, and I can also say yo bebo con mi familia, or I can combine it into one sentence. Okay, now there's another thing that I want you to be very clear about. Okay, sometimes you have to say, for example, I should study more, okay? So, deber, okay, this is one that for some reason students tend to forget. Deber means to ought or should, okay? So I would say, or must, so yo, and then debo, okay? So I'm conjugating this verb, yo debo, and then my next verb stays in the infinitive. Okay, yo debo estudiar más. Sorry, it looks like I'm writing sideways. But so here, yo is my subject. I'm conjugating my first verb. The second verb is always going to be left in the infinitive unless you have some kind of and, or, but, because, something like that in between in order to make those two independent sentences become one. Okay, let me give you a couple more examples. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my kids in the background. Okay, so for example, if I said I need to drink some water, okay? Yo, now to need is an AR verb. Necesito beber un vaso de agua. Okay? So notice I have my first verb is conjugated. My second verb stays in that infinitive, okay? So this is the same concept we talked about back in chapter 2. The only thing we're doing now is adding those IR verbs from pages 88 and 89, I believe, okay? So if I wanted to say that we need to stay in our houses, we need to be at home because of this coronavirus, right? So I would say we need, okay, or we should be, okay? So nosotros debemos, so we should or we must, debemos estar, be, talking about location, debemos estar en casa. See? So again, I conjugated my verb. Doesn't matter if it's an ER or an IR verb, okay? It just has to match your subject. Nosotros debemos estar en casa. And estar is your infinitive, okay? So remember, you cannot have two conjugated verbs stuck together in one simple sentence, okay? Only if you have them divided up using some sort of a conjunction like and, all right? I hope this helps. Adios. Los extraño. I miss you guys.